What are some of the things, you're doing even pre-launch? I think you mentioned
Yes.
that market research, just going to a different grocery store,
Yeah.
really just getting as much feedback as possible.
Yeah. So I've been working on a bootstrap for a year now and we haven't launched. And that was very intentional because I didn't just want to come up with a product and start launching it. I actually spent the first 6 months just like kind of like ideating and creating and getting inspiration. But the most important thing that I did that I want to share this advice is I was just interviewing founders, whether they were founders like 2 or 3 years ahead of me or they're very, very successful founders and basically learning from them. I was kind of doing what you're doing now, but I was just doing this on regular calls and I have notes from hundreds of founders that I had interviewed, just learning from all their mistakes. I've worked in beauty for a very long time, so there's some transferable skills into the food space, but food is completely different than beauty. So I knew that I needed to like understand what a co-packer was, like how do you work with suppliers, what is like a minimum MOQ, like all these different things like that you don't really know about, like that you need to understand. So I was basically going through like a mini boot camp that I set up for myself by just kind of interviewing founders. And then once I kind of had like an idea solidified, I learned all the mistakes that founders had made that they wish they had changed. I basically was like, okay, now I need to do some customer research on this and really figure out like, is there a market out there? How can I prove some sort of traction or product market fit without even getting a product out there? Because I learned, one of the biggest learnings was from the founders, when you start making a product, your time gets sucked into making products. So how can you test your idea without even creating a product, which I think is very powerful. So what we use is this concept called signal testing. So we were putting out like ads with messaging and beautiful imagery and like, testing out value propositions for different customer demographics and like what product format. Is it a ready to eat, or is it a chai, or is it a drink, or like is it a functional cooking base? And so we were testing out all these different ideas without even having me making something in my kitchen. And so I think that was really powerful because I could make bold pivots, without having invested in a lot of real product at that point. So that's another lesson that I think I can share. And then I started building a team. I started finding the people through all these founders who have already vetted people who they've worked with and just asking them, hey, do you have a recommendation for this or that? And, it basically was like building this team of people that I could kind of activate, whenever I needed them or whenever I have capital. So, really focusing on that. And so that's basically what we've done over the past year. We just kicked off our fundraise this past month, so like a few weeks ago, and it's been going really amazing because we spent a lot of time just solidifying the concept, the direction, the team, the product market fit, like the traction. Obviously we haven't launched, so we don't have like real product market fit yet, but at least proving that there is a demand for this. So there was a lot of work that went in before. And so now what this looks like going forward, we're planning on officially launching in September, but we're working on like beta testing. So we basically are working on our samples. We're going to start beta testing now, like over the next couple months, to really refine the product, because what I have right now is going to look completely different from the product that we're going to sell, because we're going to get a lot of feedback.